adults. Joining our conversation, Dr. Irwin Redlener, director of the National Center for Disaster Preparedness and a member of Joe Biden's Public Health Committee. Our friend Alexi is still with us. Dr. Redlener, I'm guessing that some of these parents were grappling with what I grappled with today, new math. But the truth is they're in this position because we did not do what we had to do as a country. We did not stay locked down long enough so that community transmission was low enough for schools to reopen safely. But should people be in school transmitting the disease among, I mean, what do we do now?
Yeah, well, Nicolle, so this whole thing is a complete mess in terms of the messages, the confusing messages that parents have been getting from every level of government, particularly out of the White House. We also opened schools probably too early in some cases, but at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is that parents need to take responsibility for keeping their kids out of school if they're sick, and certainly if they've been in contact with somebody who's tested positive. And all this is going to do, ultimately, unfortunately, will be to infect more and more children in school. Now, children don't get as sick from COVID, as you know, as adults do, but they certainly are definitely carriers. And that becomes a real danger for reigniting community spread if we have increasing numbers of children who are carrying it. Already in New York City, for example, we've had many children test positive, and this is becoming a real challenge around the country. But parents should be truthful with investigators. This is the least we can expect of individuals, even though they need their kids in school because they're trying to go back to work. And the message has been confusing. The bottom line is I wish parents would be very responsible, and the vast majority are, in making sure that their kids don't go to school if they're sick or if they might have COVID, Nicolle.
I want to follow up. I mean, the conversation among parents is that even if their kids are back, and most kids aren't, they're not back for long. If it's a foregone conclusion that schools are going to close, and if most businesses are still shuttered until at least the end of this year, or maybe early 2021, why are schools open?
Yeah, well, if you step back, you'll see a lot of confusion here. So we have bars and restaurants reopening in some places. We have, massive outbreaks across college campuses, et cetera. And now children are back in school. We're talking about 55 or 56 million children in K through 12 across the country. Now, part of the problem and the challenge, and I don't envy the, political leaders for this, but kids have to get back somehow, one way or another, into the educational stream. Children that are disadvantaged and were behind the 8 ball before COVID are now in a much worse situation. So the desire to get kids back in school is great, and it's logical, it's persuasive, but we can't do so if we're still endangering the public's health. So we're dealing with this kind of pitched battle between the educational need and the public health need that we're going to have to sort out. But right now, it's almost inevitable to me that a lot of schools that have reopened are going to be closing again in short order, Nicolle.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.